Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the Phuket model. For those unaware, the Phuket model has been discussed by various officials within the Thai government regarding the resumption of tourism. We've done some videos on this channel regarding this already. I urge you to go check that out. Suffice it to say, the Phuket model basically stipulates that it basically is a model to bring in tourists, put them under quarantine, and then allow them some relatively limited movement, and then allow them to sort of have a little bit free, not a little bit, but free movement after a certain period of time. A recent article from Khalsad English, that's khalsadenglish.com, article is titled "Phuket Model Expanded Nationwide Despite Little Support." Quoting directly, officials on Wednesday doubled down on their proposal to resume limited tourism. Quoting further, even as experts have yet to settle their debate over the quote-unquote Phuket model, which called for arrivals of some tourists to the southern island of Phuket, National Economic and Social Development Board's Secretary General Tasapon Sirisampan said the plan will now be reworked to include other provinces. Quoting further and quoting directly from the aforementioned individual, the Phuket model is causing confusion and opposition as a result. Therefore, we've adjusted the plan to allow foreign tourists to travel at large, since some of the provinces, such as Bangkok, have the capability to handle foreign tourists. Now, couple of things I want to make clear with this video. This has sort of gone off and on. Every discussion of bringing in tourists, be that called the travel bubble proposal, safe and sealed, green corridors, and now this so-called Phuket model, which sort of manifested itself roughly a week ago as of the time of this video, and then sort of was put on the back burner, and now it's kind of being revived, and now they're talking about expanding it. All of this is simply discussion. We've yet to see any concrete changes to the current rules regarding the shutdown of inbound tourism, inbound flights into Thailand. And let's be clear, it's not a full shutdown. It's not as if no flights are coming in. It's just quite constricted compared to normality, compared to pre-COVID, compared to pre-shutdown. We just don't see the number of flights that we usually see because the folks that meet the eligibility criteria for admission have been drastically truncated, mostly to non-immigrant visa cases in the case of foreigners, non-immigrant visa categories, I should say. And it's not all non-immigrant visa categories. It's B visas with work authorization, as well as O visas for family of Thai nationals, and then you're also, in limited circumstances, ED visa holders may be eligible for entry to Thailand. But that stated, it's truncated. We're dealing with a far shorter list, if you will, of folks that can get into Thailand than we've ever really dealt with before, at least in my memory. And basically, it's rather unprecedented if you look back on the recent history, and I mean by recent, last 40, 50 years of Thai history. We just really haven't seen this level of travel constraint placed upon folks looking to come into Thailand. But here we are. These are the circumstances, and we have to deal with them for what they are. It appears that within, and I really do urge folks to go ahead and read this article. Again, Khalsad English. Article is titled "Phuket Model Expanded Nationwide Despite Little Support." It's very insightful. And Khalsad English, just generally, I mention a lot of the folks and the sources we use to research information, and I don't think I've mentioned them in a while. Khalsad English is a very, very good publication as far as they can be very insightful as far as some of these immigration matters are concerned. This stated, the thing to take away from this video, I think there's no question that everyone in the Thai government, or virtually everyone if you want to look at it that way, is interested in restarting tourism. They all understand the economic ramifications of this, as do we all who live here. It's really unfortunate that tourism is in the place that it is in. But the fact of it is, we're still dealing with the aftermath, we're dealing with the shutdown, and this stuff is going to take a minute to get back online. And more importantly, I think many folks in positions of policy executive on matters pertaining to this COVID issue are, as has been quoted in a prior video from one official, very risk averse. They are not totally on board with just opening things up. That stated, we have seen recently, in recent days, we've seen documentation and information in various news sources which states that they are coming to more to the paradigm shift that, look, it's not a matter of risk aversion or risk avoidance, it's a matter of managing risk. That's certainly a good sign. Now, whether or not the floodgates are going to open tomorrow, that I do not think will happen. However, I do believe we will be looking at, and I don't know exactly when, I hesitate to speculate. I think the end of the year may be a little too soon, but I think give or take a few weeks, it might be possible under current conditions. That stated, I suspect we're probably not going to see things coming back into some semblance of pre-COVID, status quo COVID, as you want to call it, if you want, or status quo anti-COVID, if you want to call it that, or sort of pre-COVID normality. I don't think we're going to see things shaping up that way until probably 2021 before we really see it getting back on that track as far as being able to travel and come in as a tourist into Thailand.